This is Dabu7. Some cities should get ready to see a shortage of supplies simply because they have allowed their leadership to not only take away funding for them, but funding for other areas like police departments here, like we've heard of in Minnesota. People say, okay, you're going to defund this, but what are you going to replace it with? Is there going to be anyone in the neighborhood that protects the people? You know, like it should have been. People took an oath to serve and protect the people, not the beast. You see, people are concerned, and rightfully so. And we have truck drivers now stepping up. This is off of CDLlife.com, where a lot of truck drivers go. People go to talk about things connected to CDL drivers, over-the-road drivers and stuff like that. And this is very interesting because a lot of these guys, like 77 to 79% here, saying they will not deliver to cities that are defunding police departments. This is big. This is a poll that they ran on their own site. Over 1,200 people responding, and all of them saying pretty much the same thing in terms of those that had a response, saying that we already have a dicey job. We go into some rough areas as it is. Some go on to say that they're treated like trash just for having to pull over and get something to eat or use the bathroom. And they are carrying all the product across this country. They are the lifeline, so to speak. You shut down trucking, everything comes to a halt. We've always said that. And they're saying they will not go into some of these cities, like Minneapolis, if they defund the police department. So if they want to take away the money and have no security, this is what these guys are saying they're going to do, guys and gals. So it's just another repercussion that you're going to see. Maybe then, when cities, people are sitting there and they're allowing their, like in Chicago, Lightfoot to rep the NWO and to do all these things and strip your freedoms. Maybe when you stop getting goods delivered to your town, you'll rise up and you'll take care of the criminal factions that are controlling you. I mean, what is it going to take? Because the line is being drawn in the sand. And just simply put, some areas are not going to be seeing supplies from here on out because people are not going to deliver them. Because they feel like there's no security there. And they do not want to go into one of those areas and put their life in danger. And who knows? As crazy as things are, if they had to defend themselves and defend their life and they killed someone in defense, they could end up in jail, as crazy as all this stuff goes. So they're not wanting to have anything of it. So the people on the ground, you better realize what's coming at you fast. Much love to all the truckers out there and everyone out there rocking it righteously.
Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory to YAHAWAH'S, which YAHAWAH is the Heavenly Father's true name. YAHAWAH'S, and the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, it's His true name. And YAHAWAH is the Holy Spirit. I'm also going to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of the Great Millstone who rule and teach well in the Scriptures. And salutations to all the brothers out there pushing His word in all truth and in all sincerity. And this is just going to be a little walk and talk about that video that you just heard from Dabu7 and how you have these truckers. They're pretty much, already warning the people that they're not going to, deliver goods due to the defunding of the police. Okay, which obviously if there's, defunding and police funds, okay, then there's going to be lack of officers on the street, okay, which is going to lead to what? Chaos and anarchy, okay? And this is all, systematically designed, all right? You have the elites that want these things to happen. They're purposely doing, these events and situations, okay? This year they started off with what? This COVID-19 thing, okay? And then after that, they did what? Shortly after, it's been these riots, okay? And then, due to these riots, you have now these truckers, Salaki, you have these cities talking about defunding, the police officers. You have all these groups that are, supporting it. And now you have these truckers that are saying that they're not going to, deliver the goods anymore, okay? And, this is all leading to famines. And we're already in a food shortage, right? You have all these catastrophic events, happening, throughout the entire world with food, okay? You have a lot of, a lot of issues going on, like in specific here in the Midwest, you have a lot of we've been having a lot of rainfall the past 2 years, which is doing what? Destroying crops. All right, you have out there in Egypt and other places like the, other places in the Middle East where they're having, plagues of locusts, which is killing crops. So there's already, a lack of, food out there. And, with this happening, it's only going to increase it, okay? But I want to get this in 2nd Ezra, the 6th chapter. And Salaki, if I'm, a little distracted. I got my son with me. He's acting up a little bit, but hey, through the Spirit, we're gonna keep going and trucking. But this is in 2nd Ezra 6:22. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, and the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. And that's what's happening. Okay, you're starting to see all these, places that are storing food. They're starting to dry up. Okay, like I said, it actually starts off with these farmers. But now it's trickling down to what? These grocery stores and small, businesses, small corner stores, things like that. They're not going to get these, shipments in. And that's because, these truckers, they're afraid, all right? They're afraid for their life. It's not even about the money anymore. They don't want their life taken because they don't want to, be working. And as they're working, they have somebody, shoot them in the back of the head or something, okay? Things like that happen. And I've been seeing actually, truckers, they've been getting, having, not police, not the police force, I'm trying to think, like basically private, security teams watch them while they're unloading during like the late hours. Because I was working, the night shift for a couple months, and I would notice it from time to time that there would be these, truckers unloading, and they would actually have privatized companies protecting them, okay? And this is already happening. This was before all these famines and all that stuff, or not famines, but before all this protesting and chaos, all right, that's been happening, okay? And I'm gonna keep reading. It says, and the trumpet shall give a sound which when every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid. And at that time shall friends fight one another like enemies. And why is that? Because there's going to be a lack of resources, okay, which we'll get in a moment. It speaks about that in 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter. Like I said, we'll get that in a moment. It says, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fount shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. And that's going into the water supplies, okay? You're going to have, obviously, due to the fact that everything's poisonous out here, if you don't have any type of filters, or some type of cleaning, agents, you can't even drink the water. All right. So all these, bottled water, since these truckers, they're not going to be shipping, anymore. All right, or it's going to be lack of shipments. People are going to be fighting for that. A lot of these, it's like at least out here in Chicago, I'm sure it's in other cities, the water supply, all right, or the water system is now run on a power grid, which at pretty much any moment, if these elites want, or whomever, they can sit here and cut off the water source real quick now. Okay, all right. All right, I'm gonna get this in 2nd Ezra 15 now. We're gonna get 2nd Ezra chapter 15, and we'll start at 16. Actually, we're gonna start at 15. Main point though isn't actually in 19. But this is 2nd Ezra 15 and 15. It says, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. All right, you're gonna have civil unrest everywhere. All right, no matter where you go, very soon it's just gonna get super chaotic out here. Okay, and you see it, you all right? If you're paying attention, even a common person can see these things coming, because things aren't normal how they used to be. All right. Things are not normal anymore. All right, we're past the stage of things being normal. Now everyone's on edge. Everyone's, eyeing each other. Everyone's, everyone's nervous. You see it in these people's spirits. They're nervous. All right? And it says in verse 16, for there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. And that sedition goes into that uprising against the government. And as it says here, they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. See, no one's going to care about, titles anymore. All right, whether it be you being a mayor, you being a alderman, you being a sergeant on the police force. See, all that's going to go out the window very soon. And you see, like I said, you see these things already happening. All right, some of this stuff is by design, because Esau wants, he wants this chaos to go basically flourish and continue, so then he could do what? He can enforce and implement that martial law. All right, but you're gonna have a lot of people because of because everything's pretty much a psyop right now. It's psychological. It's a psychological operation. See, they do these events to stir up emotions. They do these events to, basically have the carnal person, all right, lash out. So then it gives them justification to actually lock people up and lock things down, okay? Because like I said, you're gonna have a lot of people out there that are just actually gonna go and they're just gonna go wild, man. They're just gonna, they're gonna be, rebels. They're gonna be, rioters, looters, okay? That's just the spirit that they're in now, because they see it happening, all over, all right? I'm going to keep going. It says, verse 17, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. And that's going into that martial law, because they're going to lock down, cities. They're going to lock down, countries. Even in, here in Chicago, we have several different neighborhoods, in Chicago within itself. Those are their own little mini cities. That's going to get shut down. You're not going to be able to go from one neighborhood to another, okay? These things are going to happen, all right? And they're already getting everybody, conditioned, for these things. That's why they had, they have, people getting used to standing in lines. They're getting, people used to standing, 6 feet apart. That's conditioning them to get used to basically being in order and like a sheep. All right? I'm going to keep going. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, and the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. And that's the main reason why these things are going on, because once pride enters into somebody, what happens? They depart from their maker. Pretty much their philosophies, their ideologies, all right, become more relevant than what the Most High has set up. And this is the society that we live in. It's the do as thou wilt society. So whatever, anybody thinks or feels, they're gonna follow after their lust. They're not gonna, regard anything. All right, I'm going to keep going, and this is the last verse. It says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. So you see, by them defunding the police, that's going to have these truckers, stop, bringing in shipments, all right? Or it's going to be, lack of shipments, maybe very few. And that's going to lead to what? People actually fighting for food. We're not even talking about because of, maybe some differences they had, in the past, whatever it may be. People are not going to fight because it's the basic necessities are going to be stripped from them. All right, and it's going to be very, very bare out here. Okay, so that's just, a quick update that I saw, and I hope this lesson was edifying. I'm just going to end it off, wanted to, pour out a few scripts, and that was it. And with that, we're going to give all praises, honor, and glory to YAHAWAH'S. Also, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and salutations to all you brothers out there. Shalom.